beautiful soul, welcome into Celestial Oracle Codes. My name is Samuel, and if this found you, something in your life is being upgraded. This is a collective reading, but it's going to feel personal. So take what aligns and leave the rest, because what's coming through here is elevation. And elevation does not always feel comfortable at first. It comes with a transformation sometimes. Sometimes it comes with all kinds of fears and doubts, right? So, what's happening here? Actually, get these out here so we can see. Okay. So, what's happening here is a shift in your energy. The Hermit coming out to express things that used to feel normal don't feel normal anymore. There might have been a certain isolation in your life, or you might be isolating right now. Certain conversations, certain people, certain habits, certain environments, they don't hit the same. And that's not because you're becoming difficult, it's because your frequency, your standards, and your awareness are changing. The hidden truth beneath this is you're being moved into a higher version of your life and into a higher realm of thinking where a completion of some kind of mental cycle, also with the way that you approach problems and with just problems coming into your life. So this is really a dissolving of a lot of the negative energies that have been in your life. And it's coming from this alignment of you elevating into this higher version of yourself. So this is about completion and integration on a mental state. The truth beneath this is you are being moved into that higher version. So not just a new situation, a new level, a new standard, a new way of seeing yourself. This is not punishment. This is not loss. This is your upgrade. The star comes out and shows that there's a deep restoration happening for you right now, whether you know it or not, and sometimes it can feel like upheaval or discomforting. But you may have felt like you're in between two worlds. One part of you still remembers the old way, the old patterns, the old attachments, and the old version of yourself that accepted less than what you truly needed. But another part of you already knows you can't go back to that. The Four of Wands comes out to say what's been shown here is that not everything can come into the next level with you. Ultimately, you have to make more structured decisions and take more structured and stable actions. Pause and meditate, realign, adjust, and really figure out exactly what is going to help you build a stable structure and foundation for this new life and reality that you're creating for yourself. Old doubts can't come. Old overgiving can't come. Old self-abandonment can't come. Old versions of people who only knew how to meet the old version of you may not be able to come either. And that may feel uncomfortable, but it is also clarifying. Wait until you see what this upgrade is actually making room for. Because this is where your next level starts to become visible for you. This is where things truly start to take off. Ultimately, with the Six of Pentacles and the Two of Wands coming out together, it lets me know that not only are you poised at a point in your life where you almost hold the world in the palm of your hands, but it also shows that the universe is supplying in the same way. So this is a very deep backing of the universe with your stable, balanced actions as you take inspired action toward your goals. The upgrade is not just about what you receive in the Six of Pentacles. It's about who you become available to receive it in the Two of Wands. Because when your identity shifts, your choices shift. And the choices and the duality and the balance of the Two of Wands shows that there is a direct choice point and a different accountability that you're holding yourself to for the choices that you have in this life. Also, for the overall expression of yourself and how that is coming across for others. Very, very powerful. Ultimately, your choices are shifting because your identity is shifting. Your boundaries are shifting with the Queen of Pentacles. Your internal state is shifting. Your relationships are shifting with the Knight of Cups. And the way that you approach emotional situations and how worthy and deserving you feel are all represented in these cards. This is a new approach to the emotional way that things make you feel. This is also taking decisive action toward things that make you feel good. And this is also knowing that you're worthy of feeling good and going after the things that give you pleasure in this life. So these are your opportunities shifting and your relationships shifting. And the life around you begins to reorganize around the new version of you. So this is your upgrade. And the old version of your life can't hold the new version of you, is really what these cards are saying. The Page of Swords comes out to show that you have a new analytical way of thinking and a new approach to accomplishing your goals and overall tackling challenges and surmounting problems. So this is also a new way that you communicate and a new way that you have of approaching situations so that they can help to build you into a better person and ultimately build skills and a creative aspect within you that helps you to build a new experience in this world. So this is you building into new skills, you communicating in different ways. This can also be communications and messages that are coming to you to let you know about new opportunities that are coming into your life that are going to help you to make more wise decisions wrapped around your growth and really creating the experience that you want in this world. For some of you, however, this is also messages about a new fitness program I'm hearing, or some kind of body and weight thing. And also for others, this is you creating a new aspect of business, or creating a new product or a new service for your business. So there is a lot of upgrades that are in the cards here. So let's take a little look into the past. So in the past, you actually went through some kind of tumultuous time. For some of you, this was just a conflict. For others of you, this was tension. For others of you, this was disagreements. Some of you, this was inflexibility. Others of you, this was a compromise, some isolation, and some of you are feeling defeated in this as well. But you came out of it, right? That's the past. And this is a very complex card. This is the Five of Swords. And it indicates that there was a tension and conflict that was in your interpersonal relationships, but ultimately, one way or another, it didn't have to only be relationships. Something came in and caused interpersonal difficulties for you. So ultimately, this could also represent some damage you did to yourself or others in the past, in some way through your behavior or through the choices that you made. So like you were on a victory path and you felt like you were going to do things a certain way, and it really didn't matter how it affected others, is what's coming through with this message. So ultimately, this is the past. You've changed, okay? You've changed if you're in this reading. And ultimately, you felt like you failed at something. So some of you felt like you failed at something. Others of you, you know, kind of did tried to make it to the top and didn't care whose head you stepped on. Some others of you, this is a sign that it's time for you to get back up and, pick up a sword and fight your way forward. Really stand up for yourself. For some of you, this indicates that, like I said, you acted selfishly or querulously in the past, and that those actions might be affecting a current situation. So, this also shows me that in the past, when whatever this was that was going on, right? Because this shows me that it was something very tumultuous, and it signifies that there was a hard time, but it was a hard time that was ultimately caused through either our actions, right? The way that we approach the situation and the reactions of others in that situation, or it was the fact that we acted selfishly and we didn't even care. Usually that's what it is. It's you wanted, let me because it's really hard to call this card out, okay? So so I'm kind of beating around the bush, but let me just tell you that this card is really asking you to look around at all that you have, okay? But it's also asking you to take a good hard look at your actions, because there could be something that you are doing that is damaging, okay, to yourself or others, while you're really on your path to victory. Feeling like you've got it all figured out, feeling like it's not going to go wrong, and feeling like there's no repercussions or karma for whatever you've done or whatever you will do or whatever this was in the past, okay? And ultimately, it led to a failure, okay? And it made you feel like you failed at something, but it also hurt you and some others, okay? So it left you in a vulnerable state. You might have been very disarmed and felt useless at a time, but you definitely had to pick yourself up. And if you haven't picked yourself up, then this is the sign from the universe that it's time to let it go and pick yourself back up, and understand that as long as you hold yourself accountable and make more correct choices in the future, it doesn't really matter what the past is. As long as you learn from that, that's why you're here. So there's no need to hold resentments or grievances. It's also the message of this card. You can release the resentments and all of the issues of trust that you have within you, and ultimately that are creating issues of trust with the important people in your life that need to be resolved, okay? So this asks you, if there are amends that need to be made, just go ahead and make them. So that, okay, I'm sorry, I beat around the bush on that one. But so there's some messages. All right, so also from the past. All right. Do not you couldn't hold back in the past. You really had to, scream and shout and let it all out in a sense. Like there was a breaking point that happened in the past, right? And it could have been connected to this. And so maybe that's why this Five of Swords came out here, because maybe you feel a little bit bad for the fact that you allowed, right, yourself to be abused or whatever it was, or neglected in any way, to the point where it became an emotionally charged situation, is what this fire is looking like. And ultimately, you didn't hold back, right? You might have screamed and shouted and said some things. Maybe you meant them, but ultimately, maybe you could have said them in a more respectful way. And so it wasn't really the time or the situation to hide what you felt, though. And so you said it like it was, and you spoke your truth. You stood up and you were counted and you were acknowledged, right? And more importantly, for one of the first times in your life, you acknowledged yourself in this fire. And it ignited the fire within you. And it really called your power back to you, right? It activated something in you. And you may have thought that it was the proper way to behave, but it was, in fact, restricting you in some way, right? Because it made it so that there was resistance to you in some way. Your feelings had been quashed along with new ventures that had come your way. So it was time to release that inner fire and abandon inhibitions that had prevented you from, living your life to the fullest, essentially giving yourself permission to say yes to things. The moment you did that, a whole new world opened up for you. And you were able to step forward in a blaze of glory, it seemed like, right? A situation called you to speak out. You released your fears, you know? You connected in a way with the fire element. That's called a fire keeper. And you did this literally by, I think, meditating. I'm hearing with candles and praying by like candlelight, or more figuratively by seeking out and enjoying the things that really made you feel alive. You just really gave yourself that deep kind of empress energy where you nurtured yourself to a point that it's gotten you to the point where now you can, things are getting better. Okay, I'm gonna, because we're obviously moving into the future here, so I'm gonna let you know things are getting better. I am showing the Two of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, and since the Two of Wands came out here with Two of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, what that lets me know is there is something unseen or unbeknownst to you that is directly correlating to a desire you have that is going to make you successful. And it's unknown to you, okay? So it's not, it hasn't come out yet. It's some opportunity, so keep your eyes open. Whatever it is, it's going to come out eventually, right? And it's going to ensure your success, okay, at whatever it is that you're trying to do. All right, so give yourself permission to enjoy yourself. In other words, seize the day. Don't think, just do. Be spontaneous is what this fire card was really coming out to tell you. And that's the guidance that's coming out for the now. So let's move into the now. All right, so in the now, for some of you, this is the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So let me just say, for some of you, you have had to truly pull on all the strength that you had, confirmation received, just to get through what has actually transpired in your life. Like, ultimately, for some of you, it was financial loss. For others of you, it was loss of family, right? A divorce for some of you, a death of a parent for others. Like, there's just so much tied to family loss in this. And many of you feel like there's a potential for financial disaster that will affect the future of your family in some way. So this is like bankruptcy, for example, or foreclosure. Ultimately, this comes out with aura to let you know to pay attention to everything that's going on around you, especially others. So this is like a wake-up call, telling you to wake up to what is really going on around you. Take a good long look at yourself and at others, right? Especially with that Five of Swords energy, just to make sure that we are taking right and proper action, because sometimes when our actions aren't aligned with positivity, then we don't get the most positive outcome. And so we really want to stay aligned with positive actions and holding optimistic and positive thought patterns and, hopes and overall expectations for ourselves and others. Confirmation received. So there are underlying reasons why certain people in your life, acting as though they have your best interest at heart, are acting as though they have your best interest at heart, although they are actually not always sweetness and light. This wake up call serves you well. So just these cards are asking you to look at areas of your life where you could improve things, no matter what that is, and get raw and real with yourself. If you have to, journal it out. Um, you know, obviously, there are all kinds of things you can do, clearing your mind with yoga and just meditating. The prayer by candlelight thing is a really great one. So, ultimately, this is calling you to deepen your investigation into situations you've previously skimmed over. So there's something that you missed here that could be the opportunity that's going to get you out of whatever this is. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we move you out of it. And so re-evaluate all of the circumstances, all of the components, all of the pieces of that puzzle that equal whatever this Ten of Pentacles in reverse is for you. Whatever that frustration or that fear or that doubt for you or your family is, reevaluate all of the components and all of the levels and everything of it, and really fine tooth comb it. Like, don't skim over it, because there's something in there that can neutralize or alleviate this situation. Okay, so that's the message coming through. And ultimately, just become the observer. Watch and learn. Notice every detail in a person's mannerisms around you and energy as well. Also, notice what's going on around you in all of your dealings. And soon you will be able to determine the bigger picture in all that you witness and everything that you need to do. Observe well, and the subtle truth will emanate clearly for you to determine what those next steps are. And, ultimately combating all of the energy from the past and what I feel like is just you washing it off of yourself in the present, is to always ask the question, is this for my highest good? It's just the state of the art question. You'll witness something important if you start doing this. You'll become more aware of signs and symbols that spirit brings you, and you'll start trying to see the good in others, and you'll realize that there's more good coming out of you. Not superficial goodness, not just niceness, real kindness, where you want someone else to elevate, you want to support another, you want someone else to do good, and you know that that is a reciprocatory energy that's going to come back into your life. This is an abundant universe, and that's a part of the abundant nature of it. So, I don't know if that's a message for it, but that's a powerful message coming through. And ultimately, this is your upgrade. So guess what? Guess what the future holds? Well, what we see in Shagai fragments come up to let us know that the worst is behind you. The worst is behind you in the very near future. So I don't know what's going on right now. Some things are realigning and readjusting, and you're upgrading, and it feels uncomfortable, and it's an adjustment. But ultimately, in the very near future, the worst is behind you, and you can begin to breathe deeply, knowing you will never have to go through the same difficulties again. That's what Shagai means. And a place of such uncertainty that left you feeling that all you cared for was torn from you, well, so that all was lost forever. It's not. It hasn't been easy at all to gather what little strength you had. But sometimes you got to undergo a journey of turmoil to find the haven of peace on the other side. And so that's where you're headed if you're not already there. So now know that you are safe to release your sorrow and allow these things to fade away. Allow that Nine of Swords energy to fall away, where it's not riddling your mind. You're not waiting for the worst outcome. You're not looking for someone to destroy or try and hurt you. You're not looking for the next person to try and do something. You're not always looking over your shoulder. You don't have a chip on your shoulder. You're not always looking for the narrative to not work out for you. You understand that you can have good and great outcomes too. That things can work out more unimaginably great than you ever thought they could in this life. And ultimately, you're not looking or attached to the old outcomes where things didn't work out for you anymore. So, as through gathering back your scattered Shagai bones, it's just like getting the Shagai bones. Shagai is an ancient divination. These oracle cards are called the Oracle or Divination of the Ancients. And so each one of them has a picture of a different way that they used to divine. And, you know, before Tarot, even though the Tarot and Oracle are a card that are in here, ultimately, a lot of these come from before Tarot was ever created. And so Shagai is one of those. That's this one. That's the reading of bones. And so it is coming out here to really symbolize you gathering back your scattered Shagai bones, your heart, the pieces that were fragmented, and any parts of you that are connected to any energetic unhappiness, grievances, disturbances, resentments, and just issues and dissatisfactions in life. Your heart will knit together and you will soon feel whole again, is what Shagai is saying. A situation has been healed. All that's waiting now is for you to release it and let it go. Time to pick up the pieces and move on. Quit playing the victim is another message here. Don't be ruled by your emotions, right? You're coming in it with this Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Cups energy now. So some of you might also be getting an invitation to a gathering or a party, or this for some of you could be a romantic invitation. Okay? So there's a lot here. There's a lot going on in the collective right now. You guys got a lot going on. We, I suppose, have a lot going on. And Shagai also, in the near future, you embody Emperor energy. This comes out with this. These came out together. Okay? So ultimately, this shows that when you embody this and you're on your way, this is the upgrade. This is what you're upgrading into. This is Emperor energy. And for you to be upgrading into Emperor energy, and I've read this a lot here in my past, I don't know, like 3 or 4 or 5 readings, it seems like you guys are always going into Emperor or Empress energy. And ultimately, this represents that strong, dominant aspect of you that is showing up confident, the leader over their life, making good decisions, having healthy, strong boundaries that serve the greater good for all, yourself and others, being in alignment, checking, assessing your alignment, understanding the synchronicities that are all around you, starting to take inspired actions towards your goals, going after what you desire, and not being afraid to sit back and be patient as you attract the same. So this is a beautiful place for you to be ending up. You guys, I love this energy for you. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful reading. I am so amazed. And look at this. So I looked over here, and this card isn't even in this deck, and it just popped out here. And here it is, the Ace of Wands from my Rider-Waite Tarot deck, and it just came out. So what that lets you know is some of you might be invited out to dinner where someone else pays. Some of you, this might be a new venture. One way or another, this is a gift or a blessing coming into your life for everybody. Something, and it doesn't matter how that blessing comes. This can be somebody holding the door when you felt like it was about to be a problem and everything was going to fall, and then it didn't. This can also be the place you work feeding you for free. This can be someone buying you lunch or taking you out. This can be someone giving you something that, you know, anything from anything, any kind of gift, any gift under the sun. This could also be a windfall or something coming into your life, some form of money. Or this could also be confirmation received, any kind of fundamental experience that brings you joy and consists of actual activities. So you'll be doing something with this as well. All right. So that is it, my loves. Thank you so much for yet again joining me. If this is your first time joining me and you're not a subscriber, do please consider subscribing. If this is not your first time, I'm sure that means you're not. So do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. Other than that, I send you all my light, my love, and all of my blessings to all of you, and I will see you all in my next reading.